You mean to tell me that I need to wait until November to watch Arcane Season 2? No, I refuse this. I'm gonna watch Bridging the Rift, how they made Arcane Season 1. At least it's something, right? This is MrGuybrush, and for the past months I've been watching everything related to Arcane. I have never played League of Legends, but I'm enjoying the world a lot. I've been learning about the lore and such. A lot of people in the comments were telling me to watch Bridging the Rift, which is the making of Arcane. So let's do it. This is divided in 5 parts. So let's do part 1 today. This is almost half an hour. It could be a TV show of its own with these durations of episodes. But anyway, let's watch it and let's see what this is, because I'm very interested. I was always wondering how they made this show. By the way, if you want to check out my reactions to Arcane, they are all uploaded right here on YouTube, so you can check that out. If you also want to see my development with the lore, you can also check that out. There is a playlist where I'm going through the lore. So without further ado, let's watch Bridging the Rift. It says hourly dreaming, risky. Some scenes contain flashing and strobing effects that may affect photosensitive viewers. Ooh. I might be affected by that, I don't know. Riot Games. When you are going to change the world, don't ask for permission. I don't remember who said that. Episode 2. Wow, I don't know what I'm watching right now, but it looks cool.
With League, the thing is that you play these characters over and over and over.
Yeah, that's fine.
Hundreds, in some cases, thousands of hours people sit with these characters.
Yeah, I don't play LOL, so I'm sorry, that doesn't apply to me.
I'm actually just messing around in the jungler right now.
In the jungle?
Mordekaiser. Because he's heavy metal.
They're always in this one.
Is he a famous person?
One environment. And you start to wonder, like, where do they sleep? What do they eat? What is their normal life like?
Hey, Jinx.
You know, like, what kind of families would they have? We knew Arcane was going to be the very first deep story expression of League of Legends. There's enough video games where the audience asks for a movie or a show for years and years and years, and then they make it, and then it sucks. And then guess what? People stop asking. We were afraid of that. We were like,
true.
If we make something that isn't at least good, then we're really, really harming the League IP.
I'm gonna be pausing here and there, okay? Because I want to let out my thoughts. How many shows or movies have you watched from a video game that are actually good? I don't know. Like, honestly, I don't know. I don't think there are that many. More so back in 2021 when this show was released. I feel like back then there weren't that many. Now I think they got Last of Us, Cyberpunk, and a few others. But yeah, there weren't that many that are actually good adaptations. So no wonder that they were afraid, and they did amazingly, in my opinion. Oh, that's the Fallout as well just came out, right? Supposedly it's really good. That's the actress. Jinx is the actress, the same actress that appears in Fallout.
Right now, obviously, you know, the phase is trying to wrap up season 1.
This is Echo with
without hair.
Just oh yeah, without hair, right? Here.
So that's how they make the show?
Secret of the show.
With models like that?
When they see him with the mask on, I mean,
You think?
yeah, of course.
In the trailer, I've seen like several videos, people analyzing it, and they're like, "Oh, this character
let's say that it's
is
Echo.
absolutely not Echo."
Well, but
like,
okay,
yeah.
but so the second they see that he has the pocket watch,
Ah, true.
Everyone
I didn't
else
know
is
about
like
the pocket watch. I don't know what that means
time.
still.
That's right.
Haha.
Hey,
Hey, how are you?
They didn't really explain about the
Show
pocket
me
watch in the
We
show.
built like a special rig on Jinx. You can kind of control going her face from going looking more childish to like
yeah.
You have that somewhere to pull up?
Yes. So when we first got the first rig of Jinx, the idea was to try
even
to
the
connect
heights and
her
everything.
somehow visually to what she was as a kid. Rounder face, bigger eyes,
Oh,
sadder look. We didn't want the typical like crazy girl laughing around like the Joker and just making no sense. We really wanted to make her feel like deranged and emotionally affected by what she went through as a kid.
she went through a lot.
I think we were a little bit worried about you know, when we get to the adult Jinx, that we just lose that, like, I don't know, that beautiful little soul that just almost just tries to prove to her older sister, like, hey, like, I can do this, you know, like, believe in me.
Yeah, they lost powder.
We should never work on a project that doesn't offer us something personal.
She's gone. She's Jinx now.
I think for the story that we have, it's a story about family. It's a story about siblings that have a hard time forgiving each other. It's a world of technology kind of taking over and us feeling like we're losing control over it. I think that those are just things that we as people
This show, oh my god, seeing all the characters like that, this show was heartbreaking. There were many moments that it just broke my heart. And seeing Vander in there too. And Silco in there, oh my god, yeah. There were some episodes that my heart, I couldn't handle it. I had tears. I had actual tears, and I kept thinking about it afterwards. They did so well. By the way, I'm assuming they did all of this during COVID times because they are wearing masks, right? I guess so.
I think we want to also ask some questions that we think should be asked without necessarily giving you the answer, but at least asking, like, hey, does a person, you know, like Jinx deserve a second chance?
They did that really well.
Can a monster ever be forgiven?
I feel like the show did a really good job at raising those questions where you are like siding a little bit with the villains. You don't need to... They are not villains per se, but you see their life, what they went through, and you are like, okay, I see where they're coming from. Where they can go, I don't know, it's up to them, but you can see it, you can side with them a little bit, you know? I think they did that really well with Silco and Jinx, for example, yeah.
I don't know. If you can figure out, like, what is something that if you love it, a lot of people would love it, that's where you really should go hard. And I think that's what we tried with Arcane, you know. We'll see, but I think it has potential.
Potential, you say? I guess these were the words before the show became, you know, critically acclaimed. So they were kind of insecure about it, right? Los Angeles. Ooh, iguana. That's a gecko.
How you doing, bud?
The gecko from Cinch.
I've had them for 23 years now. I got them when I was 15 and definitely old enough to make that kind of commitment.
Oh wow, that's an old one, yeah.
The thing when you work on story is that, just generally speaking, it never stops. I feel like I just have voices in my head that argue a lot, and every now and again, something they say makes sense, and then you write it down. And that's basically, that's how the characters happen. These are obviously League of Legends characters mostly. Cool. I was original creative on like Riven up there and Ari.
Wait, oh my god, do they sell this? I would love to have one of these. I only know these two though. Yeah, damn, they look so cool.
And let's see, Wukong, Nautilus, Lee Sin.
So many characters.
I don't know. That guy I thought was cool.
Oh wow,
so I did go to school for writing. You know, I went out to LA. One of the things that I stumbled upon was a truly bare bones, desperate sounding Craigslist post for a video game startup. My first and consistent reaction to that was this company has no chance.
In Craigslist? Yeah, Clash of Fates. I watched that trailer. Oh my god, yeah.
Beta, and I found, the job offering to work in customer support at Riot on Craigslist. Would you let me to be interviewed by Alex?
Oh my god, that's so scuffed.
For the record.
I think League was just really fun because it felt like there was kind of like the fingerprint of the people who made the game was so palpable when you played it because the characters were so quirky, they were so different. You could just kind of tell people were just enjoying making these characters.
Yeah. Early champ concept meetings were so fun. We only had the one conference room, and it would just be everyone at the company who liked that, who was enthusiastic about it, just comes in.
I wonder how many people work in there now.
Show up with something, right? You'd be like, here's this sweet art that I found, or here's this idea that I just jotted down. How do we turn that into a champion?
I think the reason that we focused on Jinx was because, I don't know, Jinx just always had this spirit at the company. Katie D'Souza did this It wasn't a sketch. It was like a full concept of what
Was
she called
Jinx
Psycho
one of the first
Arsenal.
characters released?
It was not so different, honestly, from what Jinx looks like right now. You know, the long pigtails
Yeah.
and just kind of like guns all over the place. I mean, everyone just fell in love with it.
She's like the Joker meets Harley Quinn. Like both of them together.
Vi and
Just
Jinx
like that.
were characters that Alex and I always really liked.
Bravo, sis.
And we worked on them together on, you know, the different kind of teams. Alex was working on like the characters themselves, like their creative, their voiceover lines with, you know, other
Yeah,
writers.
Vi looks cool
Such a
too.
loser, always ready to cry.
And I worked on the music and then the
I need to
cinematic
check
and
out the
things.
voice lines.
So on the, I want to try something fun right now. So fun should have some kind of spike up,
2013.
you know, like the screechy.
Okay, I'll try. Come on, shoot faster, just a little bit of energy.
Oh, I haven't watched the cinematic yet. Wow. 2013. They were already making.
And you know, when Christian
the background for
made
it.
Get Jinxed, that was the most storytelling I think we'd seen in a video at that point.
Okay.
Arcane started when Alex and I sat down
You're
together and
taller.
were thinking what the devil we should be doing next.
Riot in general kind of struggled to put out like long-form narrative content. Our goal was to have deeper storytelling, right? To not just do video game action,
Yeah, a lot of potential in there, you know.
or as we at the company tend to call it,
Oh
fight
my
porn.
god. Holy shit.
I don't know if we call it that anymore, but that's what it always was.
I just always had this sense of obligation to the players.
I wonder
you
if they
know?
play their
It just
own
felt
game
like
too.
We created these characters and the players answered us by spending so much time with them and loving them, and it just felt like they
Oh, that's
deserved
Victor?
to have
Yeah.
better stories.
Whenever Jinx kills someone, she actually gets kind of like amped up. If basically the promise is
It would be nice to find some kind of thread, some sort of like emotional question thread.
we were just kind of talking, you know, like, man, like how fun it would be to make something that's a bit bigger, you know, and the animation space and the story space, and to kind of embrace all these different strengths that the team had.
Yeah, they had the
developed over the
passion for
years.
it, you know.
Animation, music,
Every child. That sounds dumb.
Oh, he
building
can sing too.
characters, stories, and just go deep on it. We had this
this?
amazing
This
partner
animations,
for
oh my
this
god.
animation studio in Paris.
I almost haven't watched anything.
We worked with them on
I
the
have so
Jinx
much to
music video,
explore.
on the Imagine Dragons music video for Warriors.
Yeah, Imagine Dragons have worked with them a lot, right? That's cool.
They just always had this like this X factor of like these beautiful visuals,
Oh, wow.
super artistic and everything. It just kind of always clicked, you know?
Wait, is this from the show? No. This is a cinematic I haven't watched either.
always thought that if there's any superpower that we had in the beginning to make Arcane a thing, it was whether or not we could really unleash the potential of Fortiche.
Hey, yo, we're in France. I wonder why they call it Arcane. Because of magic and stuff? I don't know. I wonder. Oh, damn, look at him going. That seems like a hazard. That's a Jinx energy, you know? Yeah. I'm sorry. I just noticed. This character, isn't that from Dragon Ball, or am I crazy? I think it is. Sorry, I just noticed that. I have to point it out. Maybe not, she's not from Dragon Ball. Hey, that's Bander.
Le problème, c'est de finir après avec un shot final où t'as Rémi qui serait beaucoup trop à gauche et lui qui serait beaucoup trop à droite, quoi.
So they had a whole studio dedicated to animation.
He's the yes man of the company. He's saying yes to everything.
Oh, I need somebody like that to always say yes to me.
Yes, it is. Can I do it? Yes, you can.
The little plant in there.
We do a mix of 2D and 3D.
Ooh, I love that.
Because the 2D FX are done in 12 images by second, then and the animation it's 24, like all the movie. So you have a mix of style. Geek with dirty.
This guy kind of cool. Fortiche founder.
C'est très beau. C'est les mains lentilles. Typiquement, moi, je suis pas fan de la 3D pure et je trouve le style très
So
intéressant.
what, Arcane is a mix between 2D
C'est plus organique.
and 3D, like they... I don't know, okay. I guess we're gonna get that answer in here. What was that, Tom Nook? Man, so cool.
We paint.
We paint? Wait,
We
How do you texturize something to look like a painting?
how do you texturize? Wait,
How do you texturize something to look like a painting?
we paint.
that's amazing. That's an amazing answer. How does it make? How do you make it look like a paint? You just paint. I guess that's why it looks amazing. Like I said this when I was watching the show. Every single frame looks like a wallpaper.
So let's say you have like a character smoking a cigarette. Instead of having like a 3D smoke being simulated by 3D tools, it's actually 2D drawn, frame by frame.
Frame by frame.
And it gets this almost cartoony effect.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Imagine how much they had to draw here.
In fact, I start to do this 2D mix and 3D since 20 years with music video.
Oh.
On est en train de maltraiter.
He has experience.
For me, it's a new way to do animation. It's not anime, it's not full CG, it's a mix of everything.
Cute. Yeah, so they have experience, you know. It's kind of new.
Are you feeling good about season one?
It's an interview right now.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I'm not
Arnal, I like him. The director, alright. He's chilling,
I met
man, with the
Arnaud
beard.
Party. Arnaud was doing fun, cool music video with no money.
Je faisais de l'animation, mais c'était tout le temps un peu expérimental.
Oh,
En
wow.
multimédia, en stop motion, mais souvent avec une grosse partie quand même live action.
Oh my god.
Cheers!
I bet that this studio is busy right now.
Nothing.
With season 2.
Maybe another day? A little bit drunk, maybe. It's gonna be easier.
I met Pascal, he was the best guy for.
They're
the
having some
character
fun in Paris.
When I was a kid, my dream was to make comic books or work on, for Marvel and stuff like that. I like characters. I like
Oh, that's
how you can
gorillas.
bring personality and bring story.
I think back then I just found these tests that they would do where you go like, man, like this looks different. This doesn't look like the typical expensive Hollywood animation production. This just looks like, this looks very French.
That's a way to describe it, yeah. Like a biota.
I think he liked the mood because it was more adult, more lighting with flares and haze and something more like a live action movie.
Yeah,
Fortiche from the very
I can see
beginning had
that.
this very unique approach to camera, making you feel like there's a person filming whatever's happening. There was an imperfection that could only be human in how it moved and how it felt.
I like the painting of the woman behind. Fortiche. Hey,
To be
that's
fair,
a good
the
impression.
First answer when I went to the right leadership was like, I think we should make a TV show about our characters that is the highest budget ever spent on an animated series. And it's gonna be great. The first answer was no, get out of the office.
That
Yeah, how do you start
that
with
was
that?
like a oh crap. Like Christian has showed up with those like bold ideas and bold asks before, but this one was such a leap from sort of music video to like full animated show. It's so unbelievably daunting. And in the back of my mind,
Come on, they had the
going,
money.
How am I going to talk Christian out of this? Like, how am I going to help him realize that like we're jumping the shark here?
And then I came back and said, okay, give me like $2,000. And they're like, okay, fine. And so we just started, you know, doing some concept art. It was like, okay, you know, this looks really cool, right?
Cool
Yeah, this looks really
already,
cool.
yeah.
I thought it was a great idea, but I also knew how difficult it was to pull something like this off. We have something called the video game curse, which is very few games.
That's what I was saying at the
adapted
beginning.
Into film and television.
Yeah.
Well.
One of the things that's really true that I think every creative can relate to is a lot of great creative ideas, they're fragile. They start off as a dream and an idea and a vision, and they haven't been fleshed out necessarily.
Okay, it was a little bit more. Now we can explore some 3D models and everything. Like $5,000. They're like, okay. and
Little
I
by
don't remember
little.
getting any of this money.
Anyway, let's not to linger on this very unimportant.
Oops.
You got
Got him.
$2,000.
All right, this is our first behind the scenes in the writer's room. Alex, what year is it?
1922.
Wow, they've been
While
working
we
at
were
it for a
building the
while.
story, we also started working with Fortiche on these little spikes, you know, of like, hey, what would it look like if Vi was just in her apartment in Piltover, and she's like venting about how Powder, her little sister, you know, is just always messing up. You know, it was just a test of like, hey, like, can we even do animation where acting feels good?
Oh wow, they did this?
Let's run, Powder. Didn't we spend a bunch of time preparing you for this? You and I?
In the back of my mind,
Ooh.
I was going.
I think
kinda
somebody
hope
told me about this video. I
goes
need to
in
check it out.
screen because this is so unbelievably ambitious. Like, I don't know how in the world we're gonna pull this off.
That's when I said, okay, could you give me like, I think it was like $65,000 or so.
Okay. Little by little, he's asking more and more, you know. Oh, this is also that test.
And there was this fight scene. It was sort of this, you know, animation,
animation test,
with
okay.
Jace and Vi on a rooftop.
Hey, yo, that's Jace with the hammer.
It was so sick, just in terms of how the characters were expressed and how they came to life.
Oh, Jace looks very different. But this looks
All those
amazing.
little incremental tests.
And Vi
were
looks
all
kind of
clear, just
similar.
like, yeah, we need more of this.
Okay. Whoa.
I think that was the time when I think they realized that I'm probably serious about this project.
Yep.
I said to them, well, I mean, you have concept art now for the characters, for environments, you have 3D models, you have animation test, you have material that we've had developed for the pilot. And I was like,
Damn, that's so cool. Damn, I cannot get over how different Jace looks.
I sort of think about it as like, oftentimes not knowing what we're getting into was an advantage, because I think if we did know, we would have said, there's no way.
I mean, animation tests, it was beautiful, right?
Sometimes you
But it was
gotta
just a
be
small
bold
snippet
when
of
you are
what the
investing.
full series would be, and there were so many questions about like, oh, what is the full story?
To me, the stakes are really high because we want to be respectful of players' time and trust. I'd for sure much rather
Okay.
not do a show
Yeah, the first
than
one I don't like
releasing
her that
something that's just okay.
I don't know if anyone
Emmerdinga looks the
among
same
Ryan's leadership
almost.
necessarily thought that we would definitely be able to do it.
That Jace?
But
Yeah,
I think
Jace.
they all understood that we just had to try. You know,
Man.
I mean, like this was a bet. It was a risky bet. You just kind of have to, at some point, make that bet. You know, otherwise, it's only gonna be ever a theory.
Fortiche was 5 people. So we had to build a studio of now 200, 250, 300 people.
Whoa.
Which is like, how do you build an animation studio?
Whoa,
You know, we're a
that's
game company, how do you
crazy.
do that?
At that point, Fortiche had produced 2, 3, 4-minute music videos.
Le pari pour Christian et Riot, c'était est-ce
Yeah,
qu'on
asking
est
that
capable
of
de
them, bro, it's
sortir,
crazy.
5 heures, 6 heures de film. Et non plus, on ne savait pas.
They're like, oops, man, I don't know. That's a lot of work.
When I met Christian, I remember him talking about the character arcs and what's gonna happen in that episode, and you know, I've already that in mind, and it's gonna be like so emotional. And I was like, dude, you're crazy. We haven't even started the first minute of the show. I don't think he was realizing what he was getting into, but I think he was a fool.
He had it in
But
his
the
mind, right?
excitement he had when he was talking about the show made the difference to me.
Yeah.
Even when there are a lot of question marks and obvious concerns, and on paper it's not supposed to work because, you know, the experience isn't there and the resume isn't there. Like, that's precisely when it's worth jumping into the deep end of the pool and learning how to swim.
Il y avait plus de peur pendant le test que, que finalement quand on a commencé à faire le pilote. C'est là où on a pu mettre tout ce qu'on avait un peu en nous, toutes nos références, où il y a eu ce côté, ouais, enfin le côté geek, grâce à Christian et Riot, quand on a vu qui nous laissait les clés.
This is amazing. I didn't expect they will have such humble beginnings. They started in 2016. And they released it in 2021. It took 5 years. Right? 2021? I think so. They had to paint everything by hand after 3D. Oh wow, and they even recorded like the animation, body animations. Fortiche attracts France's top animators to join the project. They expand from a team of 30 to how many? To 100. That's impressive. Truly impressive. It's one of the most attractive parts of Arcane, is like the art. 10 months are spent. 10 months are spent animating the first episode. 10 months! Jesus, man. Oh my god. Wait, what's that? She was on a Zeppelin or something. I don't remember that part.
Basically, we had the pilot, you know, wrapped up more or less. And now was the time to start working on the rest of the first season.
We had an entire arc for the first season, I mean, filled with moments, you know, lots of art, lots of exploration, different locations, different characters. And we were already feeling the pressure of the sort of pipeline rolling.
These episodes take a tremendous amount of time to animate, and once the episode is in various stages of animation, changes are possible, but any change is tremendously disruptive in terms of the amount of time and resources it takes to sort of, so you're kind of locked in.
So yeah, at some point there was a meeting on my calendar, and I went to Brian's office, and there was like a bunch of people in there.
He basically he called me and told me like, hey, you know, I just talked to Brandon and like everyone.
It was basically like an intervention meeting.
And by the way, that's what we do for everything, even in game. If we're like on the cusp of launching and we think it's not right, like we'll stop, we'll hold, we'll pivot, we'll cancel.
Perhaps it's time I cut my losses.
I mean, I think with everything creatively, you know, you're always kind of waiting for that hammer to fall. We wanted to make sure the story that players got lived up to their expectations. If we couldn't do that, then we shouldn't do that.
Yeah, fair.
The consensus was
other people wouldn't do that, so we just release it.
And it's not gonna work, you know.
Dang, he looks sad in there. I wonder if they made him do the pilot again or something. The making of Arcane. Okay, that was the first episode of 5. And that was really cool. Right, I'm gonna be honest, that was cooler than I thought. It really puts in perspective how daring this show was, in the context that, you know, this guy was trying to get it out, but you know, he kept having obstacles, right? I don't know what kind of obstacles he had, but it seems like the pilot wasn't as people thought it would be, you know? As I was saying at the beginning of the video, many people have tried to release movies or TV shows based on video games, right? And I feel like Riot wanted to make it right, or they don't do it at all. To me, Arcane was one of the best shows I ever watched. And it got me so interested in the show, in the story, that I started looking at the lore behind it in League of Legends and everything. Because I really want to watch more, but I guess it takes them forever. I was wondering why it was taking so long from the first season to the second. I guess the reason why is because they need to work on it for so long, right? I bet they had so many obstacles as well on season 2. But I'm so excited, and it's only a few months away. Right now we're in June and it's in November, so only a few months away to watch the rest of the season. Anyway, I will keep watching this. It's 5 episodes only, so if you like it, let me know. Because I'm enjoying it, like watching more Arcane stuff is always pleasant, right? If you enjoyed the video, consider subscribing and checking out the rest of the channel. We got a lot of videos right now about League of Legends and Arcane. I don't play the game, but I check out the lore. This has been MrGuybrush, and I will see you on the next video. Thank you so much. Bye!